Okay, from here we're going to continue by adding another component of the interface body. This time I want to add a vertical column on the left hand side that will contain the navigation buttons in the completed interface. I'm going to create this using essentially the same technique as the banner border. So the first thing I want to do is go up to Layers and create a new layer. I'm going to name this one Menu Background. And then click OK, and it'll be added to our list of layers. Now I'm going to use the horizontal marquee tool once again, or rectangular marquee tool rather. And I'm going to still use the fixed size setting, but I'm going to give it some different dimensions. I'm going to make this 100 pixels wide. And I'm going to go for 400 pixels in height, and this will give a good height for when we're entering content once we're editing it with Dreamweaver a little later. So I'm going to go back down here towards the left hand side and click, and there is my working area. I can move this around to get it near where I want the final column to be. Now I'm going to fill this with color, but instead of using the fill option that we use for the banner border, I'm going to use the gradient tool and make it a little more stylish. One thing I should point out is that if you ever do not see the tools that I'm selecting, some tools are hidden in submenus under other tools. So in the case of the gradient tool, it's paired here with the paint bucket tool. And so if you see the paint bucket tool, you can hold that down and discover the gradient tool underneath. So go ahead and pick that, and up here in the options panel you'll see a small gradient displayed. This allows you to edit the colors in the gradient. So if you go ahead and click on that, it'll open this dialog, the gradient editor, and you'll see the kind of the spectrum displayed here. You can change these colors to whatever you want, or you can even add more colors just by clicking anywhere along this line. For now I just want the two basic colors, and I'm going to define these as a pale green on one end, and on the other end I'm just going to go for completely white and click OK. And then you can go ahead and once you're satisfied with the colors you selected, click OK in the gradient editor. Now with the gradient tool still selected, my mouse is a small crosshair, and I'm going to position it near the top of the selection, click and hold and drag this line down straight directly to the bottom of the selection, and when I release it'll be filled with a gradient. So you see that it goes from the pale green at the bottom gradually to completely white at the top. Okay, now from there we can kind of nudge this into place using the move tool. And actually I want to go ahead and deselect, so hold Apple and D. And so this is going to be tricky because you can't really see that white at the top, but you'll be able to see it if you click the up arrow. You can see there it's starting to overlap that green border. So kind of come back down a few pixels, and then that looks good. Now the way you can verify that if it blends with the background is simply go over here and click on this little eyeball icon, and that'll make the background invisible. So now you can see exactly where that lines up. Okay, now this is looking good, and we will move on with the next component.